It's hard to believe how quickly things can change. And I mean in both ways. Okay. I am here today to talk about the Julia S. Gouw Film Challenge. So about 4 years ago, I was having lunch with this remarkable woman who couldn't be here today, but if she were, you would see a halo around her head, because she had already proven herself to be a generous and joyful donor to many initiatives supporting our community. And we shared our desire to uplift women of Asian descent to positions of leadership. And she asked me what were the areas where they were most lacking in the world of entertainment. And I said, directing. Definitely directing. And we started noodling on ways to correct that. So we came up with some ideas, which I then brought to CAPE, wonderful women, the small but mighty team at CAPE, which, as you know, is a real pillar of our community. And thus was born the Julia S. Gouw Short Film Challenge. Now in its third year, we have been able to showcase numerous extremely talented filmmakers who just needed that little extra boost to get noticed. There have been 12 recipients of our grants and many others who are part of a community being mentored by the most accomplished professionals in the industry. In just a few years through this initiative, we have been able to strengthen our community immeasurably through empowering, inspiring, and supporting one another. And we have helped create dreams. I am always blown away by how many incredible scripts are submitted and committed, more than we can honor. And I love seeing the 1-minute films that we assign the finalists to make. But my favorite part of this journey is calling the grant recipients to inform them of the news. The shrieks of delight and tears of joy remind me that we are changing the narrative of their professional careers, and that we are also keeping dreams alive for countless other filmmakers. The stories that they are able to now put out into the world occupy a range of sensibilities: poignant, funny, frightening, fantastical, dramatic, thought-provoking, heartfelt. But they all have one thing in common. They are deeply authentic stories that are unique to our lived experience, and through these stories, I believe we have invited more compassion and understanding into the lives of so many others. I encourage any women in this room, binary filmmakers of Asian descent, to apply. We have now gotten the funding for a 4th year, thanks to Julia and Trin Yen there and her beautiful community. And now I am so delighted that we have recipients from this 3rd year of the Short Film Challenge, Frampton, Lindsay Watson, and Radha Mehta, who will share more about their short film projects. And unfortunately, recipient Jill Sachs is not able to be here today, but her team is here, who will speak to her on her behalf. It has truly been a privilege to support this program and witness our filmmakers bring their creative visions to life. And we could not have found a better way to celebrate than all of you who also support AWE. And these two programs together really fill my heart to the fullest. So thank you. Now, let's give a round of applause and warm welcome to Frampton.
Hello. I brought notes. If you've ever been unfortunate enough to get a voicemail from me, you know that I ramble. Firstly, thank you to AWE for having me, Cape, Janet Yang, Julia Gouw. This has been really incredible. When I found out I was a grantee, being the overly dramatic person that I am, I called up my mom and told her that my life has purpose again. I started in the entertainment industry through music. That's my day job. I write songs for film and TV. But I never went to Berkeley or Juilliard. I never went to film school. I never went to college. Sorry, Mom. I've always learned everything I know by making mistakes, getting my hands dirty, and asking for help. And asking for help is exactly what makes the film community amazing. Even all these amazing women, they've been so helpful already and, have told me if I have any questions or thoughts, I can hit them up, and that's been really sweet, so love you guys. But being on a film set is my favorite place in the world. Everything feels so alive And there's all these people coming together to tell a story and create art. And my story is called You Have Arrived. It's about the lengths that a mother will go to in order to save her daughter. It's about resilience and to keep going even when people around you tell you to give up. This story was originally inspired by my friend over a glass of wine at a dinner party. She was telling me how cool it was that you can program your GPS voice to be a family member or Beyonce or SpongeBob. And of course, I took that idea and twisted it into something weird and dark. You Have Arrived is a supernatural thriller that I'm currently writing into a full-length feature. Thank you. When a supernatural GPS leads the mother of a missing child to an ordinary man, she becomes convinced he's the kidnapper and begins stalking him, hoping to save her daughter. I can't wait to bring the story to life. The team of people that are coming together in January to shoot this are so incredibly talented and smart and amazing, and I'm honestly just so happy that they've agreed to work on this project with me, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So thank you so much for having me, and if you'd like to hear more, I will be the anxious, weird person wandering about. Next up is the incredible Lindsay Watson. Please give it up for her.
I did not bring notes. I was bamboozled. I thought it was just a quick speech. Now I'm really nervous. Hello, everyone. I am Lindsay Watson. I am a director, writer, actress. I am Native Hawaiian, Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, and I come from the island of Maui in Hawaii, so I am like the AAPI. It's like my claim here. So I understand, I get it. I'm just really stoked to be in rooms like this. I'm not used to being so professional. I'm a creative. I started in this industry as an actress. And in that time, I was really lucky. I got to be on Netflix's Finding Ohana, a feature that's called The Wind and the Reckoning, that we got to speak 80% of the Hawaiian language, Olelo Hawaii. So these were big projects that were making movement, but they were only a few, and they were far and wide between. So to me, I started to realize this is happening because there's a disconnect at the top. There's not enough faces like mine that of the other Hawaiian people, of the Asian American people that are making these decisions. So I decided, hey, why not write your own stories and direct them? You want to have the creative control to ensure that these stories are told properly and represented in the way you want it. Just do it yourself. And I'm a bit of a control freak, so that kind of like just fell in place. So I made that transition a few years ago, and I just started writing and learning. And me and Dia, we're friends here. We didn't go to school. We didn't do this the proper way. I had to really learn while I was on set to know how to tell these stories in the most proper way. And I was so lucky when Cape came into my life and gave me this opportunity. My story is called When Life Gives You Lemons. It follows a woman who, as we all know too well, is on her desperate attempt to be a mother, but her body will not allow her, struggling with infertility, and then has the opportunity to become a mother in a way she never expected. I'm going to leave that there because I don't want you guys to know the end. I really want you guys to watch this when it comes out. But it really is a story that follows womanhood and this innate feeling that we have to nurture, whether it be mothering a child or our partners or anybody else in our life that we have to take care of, and that the resilience that we push through everything, no matter how hard we're pushed. And, we as women know what that's like. I mean, we're expected by society to be mothers and work and do so many things. So I was inspired to tell this story. Dia, you and I should not have gone next to each other. After I spoke to a friend that had a very awful journey to becoming a mother, but when she got there, it was really, really beautiful, and so she was a big inspiration for me. So I definitely think it's a story that a lot of women here could relate to, and I'm just really excited to tell it. One of the biggest parts of this, and my biggest goal in this industry is to uplift my Polynesian side, my Native Hawaiian side. There's such a small amount of us in this industry, and I have to speak for them everywhere we go because there's just not enough of us in the room. So this story, I'm planning on casting hopefully mostly Polynesian faces in that, and that's a big thing to me. As I was on the acting side, I realized the lack of representation, the lack of access, the lack of opportunities, so I want to be that change. To me, this opportunity with CAPE is not just for myself, not for my own career, it's to help the whole of the Native Hawaiian population to get to that next level so that we can be seen. So we got a seat at the table, and these stories that come to Hawaii that want to use us as a backdrop and just push us to the side, that we get to actually tell our own stories, tell about our own culture, so that this vacation spot that everyone loves so much can get to speak their own voice and tell their own stories. So thank you for listening to me rant, and I am so excited to have my film come out, and I hope you guys come and watch it. Thank you guys so much. Just kidding. And next up is the wonderful Radha Mehta.
Hi, everyone. Such an honor to be here. This is actually my very first Asia Society event. And just in the few women that I've met, I'm just in so much awe. And although I come today as a filmmaker, I did want to share that for the past 20 years, I had been a civil engineer. And my father had started a business, our family business, 50 years ago with 5 people. And when I joined 20 years ago, I've grown it to 120. And we just been successfully acquired this past March so that I can be able to now pursue filmmaking as a full-time career. And I have so much appreciation for that life that I've led because of all the skills that I've learned that you all magnificently carry when it comes to management, that I feel that I can carry that over in filmmaking. So today, what I wanted to share is the grant that I've been so grateful to receive is for my short film called Sunna, which means listen in Hindi. This film is a mother-daughter love story of grief and healing through the power of music. After unexpectedly losing her hearing, a young Indian singer, Lakshmi, discovers a new sense of self through experiencing music in a transformative way. The mother, Savita, is an accomplished sitar player, and her daughter, Lakshmi, is a young emerging piano player. One morning, Lakshmi suddenly loses her hearing while playing the piano. Confused at first, Lakshmi hides her hearing loss from her mother as they get ready to perform at their local Hindu temple later that day. Unable to sing on tune, Lakshmi's frustration comes to a head when she storms out of the temple. Savita runs after her, and in a fleeting moment, Savita rescues Lakshmi from a near-fatal car accident in the parking lot. Savita later learns of Lakshmi's newfound sensorial hearing loss caused by an earlier incident in her daughter's life. Savita feels crushed, sad that her daughter may never get to perform music again, the one thing that she knows her daughter loved more than anything. After a night of shared grief for this loss, Lakshmi wakes up the next morning feeling a sense of resilience. She sneaks into the living room and begins to explore the sitar, the piano, and their tuner, and harnesses the power of vibrations and visual cues, and ultimately her muscle memory to rediscover music in a transformative way. Savita later joins Lakshmi, and they close with a beautiful shared harmony. This film is inspired by my own story as someone who was born into a naturally gifted family of musicians, but was diagnosed as hard of hearing since I was 6 months old. I was taught music through the power of vibrations and visual cues, and had since gone on to perform in front of several thousands of people and have had original music licensed for film and TV. Now, as a filmmaker, I aim to tell stories of hope and resilience deeply rooted in my South Asian culture, stories I wish I had seen when I was growing up. I thank you, CAPE. I thank you, Janet Yang and Julia S. Gouw, for shining a light on stories like mine, and to Asia Society for giving me this platform to share this with you, and for anyone that would be willing to support this journey, I welcome you all, and thank you. And with that, I would like to introduce our next candidate, Jill Sachs, by Joyce Liu-Countryman.
Hello, everyone. I am not Jill Sachs. I'm Joyce, Liu-Countryman. I'm part of her producing team. Just to tell you how committed she is to this project, she's actually in the Philippines at this very moment, location scouting and casting. So we are far underway in terms of making this a reality. We want to very much thank Janet Yang, to Cape, to Julia Gouw for this incredibly generous grant. This is helping really Jill make this dream film of hers come true. I've known her since film school, and she's been talking about doing this horror shorts, but really elevated genre to bring up the issues that are important to us as Asian American women and our identity. Let me tell you a little bit more about the film. So again, we are shooting in the Philippines in mid-January. This is yay! Very excited about it. We are doing international casting right now, so we're casting from the UK and the United States and Australia, so we have talent coming in from all over the world. The film itself is really about Vivi, who is a Filipino-American herself, who's trying to find her identity and find where she belongs. And she ends up pairing up with the eco-reserve, a group of folks who are trying to save an eco-reserve, but there's an element of like the white man's burden, I'm going to come save you. The indigenous folks, or the folks who are villagers there. And so her trying to grapple with, where do I belong in this? And is this really our place to impose our values on another group as opposed to appreciating and understanding their perspective? So along the way, she encounters, of course, our monster. So we're very excited about having creature effects. We're building out a special effects creature with makeup. We have visual effects with this. So as you can tell, it's a very ambitious project. So what happens when she encounters this creature, and how does she save herself? At the same time, finding her identity along the way and where she belongs. So it's a very interesting examination of taking this metaphor of where do we belong and how do we find ourselves as a minority in a majority world and finding our place within it.